I'm sure maybe, I don't know who your clients are or your key decision makers are within an organization, but let's imagine that they're mid-level managers and not necessarily leadership. Are they necessarily thinking about like the psychology or the impact or the amount of workload of how all this is impacting them? I would say maybe not, but maybe senior leadership is thinking like, they're thinking 10, 50, not 50, but like, 5, 10, 20 years from now, I'm like, how will the workforce be impacted, right? So like, who's really thinking about, I don't know. Yeah, there's a pointed question there, but like, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I think that's a really good question. And I think at least with the people who are the grunts, who are in the weeds, who are in the just trying to pump the work out and make sure everybody's getting stuff done and they're trying to be focused on doing the work and all that kind of stuff, it's going to directly help them, the AI and or the workflow software that uses some intelligence will be very helpful for them to keep everything straight, to keep it on task, all that kind of junk. It takes a little bit of extra time away from them having to chase so much, which is what's so great about a lot of the software that's out there, is they're just not going to be chasing so much. So the people in the weeds, say if you're a project manager, you'll be able to track things better, keep on top of stuff better, locate assets, all that junk. If you're a creative person, you'll be able to actually quit reading all the stupid emails that make no sense and just actually come up with some copy or some art or something, whatever the hell. And like what you're saying about the big bosses and all those kind of guys, who knows what they're going to be thinking other than hopefully fulfilling their life somehow better and increasing the whatever they want to increase profits or whatever the heck for the company. It's all kind of a positive.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if we can say that the effects of this have trickled down yet in terms of, do you know what I mean? Because,
they have not.
I think what we encounter more is the opposite, which is that the same old stuff is going on at companies that have been going on for 20 years since email, the same chain of, if anything, it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that Jeff and I really, the core of what we're getting at, which is that we really should be making progress here. Like we've had all these tools for a while, and people have, but people continue to work in the same sort of siloed way that, and it's using email and so forth. And these things can actually, there are actual methods that make it better and make it better for your mental health and make it better for your productivity.
Yeah. That's the animal intelligence that we were talking about before.
So I think, while I agree with you wholeheartedly,
here comes John.
I think we need to consider who you are speaking with. If you're speaking with just today, if you're speaking to, let's say, the low-level copywriter or social media manager, and you show these tools, the first thing they're going to think, and I know this for a fact, they're thinking, am I going to be replaced?
Right.
Yes.
Right. That's number one. Number two, if that person is using it today, I don't think they're going to be oh yeah, I'm using it. I used it to do my work, because they're not going to know how their friends, how their, most importantly, their managers,
the implications of it. Yes.
Exactly. So am I just telling my boss that I was, that I cheated, or that
you're just showing how flashy you are and how quickly you got that thing together.
Right? Maybe you'll focus on that, but you won't tell them how you did it.
Correct.
Right? Just human nature. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that they should lie. I'm not saying any of that. But human nature would be like, I'm not going to tell them, because my friend actually reached out to me and said, hey, do you have any examples of people in advertising, like copywriters and stuff, using it? I'd love to write for an article. I'm like, if they are, they're not saying it.
Yeah, no.
Well, the other thing is, okay, so we're talking, the generic scenario is an agency or a mid-sized company, say, or a company with a staff and so forth.
Sure.
But think about small business wanting to do their own content or automate some processes or do some things.
Yes.
This is a supercharger, because it's almost like saying, okay, I've got a white collar worker who's working here for free for me right now.
Yeah. I'm going to do a little plug now. Maybe you didn't know any of this, but I've been developing something called Digital Marketing Agency in a Box, where I'm developing a suite of tools that people could go and actually get articles written for them, get SEO strategies, get social media posts. And I've been targeting it specifically for SMB and maybe even mid-sized kind of companies, right? Because of that, they don't have the luxury of being able to afford big agencies or any agencies, right? But they still need this. Or even within big organizations, this may be important for you all, right? When I worked on Oreo and I worked internationally with Oreo, maybe the US and the UK were like really big major brands. But when I started working with like the Brazil, Costa Rica kind of brand manager and stuff, those people were basically running a small business.
Yeah. How does that thing work what's it called? And then what do you have humans who you point things to get things done? Or are you using some of the AI stuff, or is it a mix and match? What the heck is it? What's it all about?
Yeah, no, definitely. So it's digital marketing agency in a box.
That's what it's called?
That's what
so
it's
you
called.
can Google
yes.
it right now and junk like that?
It launched, but it may not be up on Google right now.
Right on.
It launched probably like a day ago.
Whoa.
And so I definitely see it as disrupting. And yeah, it's not using humans at all. It's all using those large language models to be able to interpret what you need and spit out all that. But we don't have to focus on the plug there. But as far as like, that's just showing that it is like, eventually it might get so good that person's like, I'm just going to continue to use this, right? Like,
Smash that like button and subscribe and tell your grandmas and grandpas to do it.